Another option to make a list of a particular type of places, like pubs or hairdressers, is to use the Simple Geo Database. This was made a couple of years ago by a company called Simple Geo. The company failed, but they released their data as open data. And you can download these files with points of interest for pretty much every country on Earth. You can find them in the link below the video. Now, the UK file alone is massive. It's really a very large file which will slow down your GIS, and it will probably be too big to handle for the computer labs at the university. So I cut it down to just Glasgow at my own computer to make a workable file. So here you see the file in QGIS, and you can roughly recognize the shape of Glasgow with the River Clyde, where of course there are no businesses inside the River Clyde, some major parks. And if we open up the attribute table, we can see what kind of data is in this file. So let's just see it as a proper table. So we know location, we've got the name of the business, and then probably the most interesting thing are the tags, which tell you what kind of business it is. So this business is some housing society, this is a pub, the Victoria Bar, this is a news agent. So it's an incredibly useful data set for selecting these kind of points. And we can filter this data, and there's a filter tool here. So that selects our filters features. So if we click this, then we can see the different fields, so IDs, province, city, etc. And then the tags field we were just looking in, and we can just enter a tag that we'd like to see. So we saw the Victoria Bar that's classified as pubs. So if we just enter pubs in here, and we can see there are different types. If you just search for pubs, and we'll get all around pubs, inns, pubs, there's also a restaurant. So if you filter this, and now you see this will filter for all the fields that contain this word, and then we can just select these features. And now I've just selected all of these, and if we close it, yeah, you see in yellow, we see the selected features. So now if we've selected all the pubs out of this database, and now the easiest way to take the selection and make it a separate file is just to export this data, save features as, and then make sure that we click Save Only Selected Features. Then we can type a file name. So let's call this pubs. Let's save it as a shapefile. Let's just use the same coordinate system as the original data, and let's leave all the other parameters the same. We click OK, and now we have a new file with only the pubs, and we can close the original file. And now we have a list of all pubs in Glasgow. So it found 390 different features and 390 different pubs, and we can get their names by if we go to the labels. So here we go to labels, we select single labels, and then we choose label with, and we can just label with the name, and we click OK, and now all the names of the different pubs show up. And yes, some of these pubs they seem to have closed in recent years. There's probably a few new pubs here and there as well. So it's a bit outdated, but sometimes this is the best data available. So it's still a useful data set, and especially many pubs will just have been replaced by different pubs. Same location, but still a pub. And we can just view this. We can add a base map. So let's add OpenStreetMap. Can zoom in this, and as we can see that the points roughly place that they're plotted in the right location, that we do indeed have the list more is plotting in the right location. So yeah, so that's another potential source for points of interest in Glasgow.